So I was having breakfast with a girlfriend the other day, and we were watching a speaker who was talking about authenticity and her struggles with coming out as a gay person. And my friend turned to me and said, where is it along the way in our lives that we figure out that we just can't be who we are? I was excited by this question because this is an area that I'm so passionate about. Our identity, our beliefs, our values, who we are, what we're born to do. This is just an area that I'm completely obsessed with. And I said to her, well, this is what I've come to believe, and this is what I've come to learn. And it's a very powerful question that was once asked of me. But let me give you a little bit of a background before I ask you the question. So we're born into this world, many of us, as infinite love, beautiful and perfect, just the way we are. And as babies and toddlers, we're given so much love, so much praise, so much attention, so much admiration. I know this is not the case for everybody, but for the majority of us, we get to experience this love that just comes so effortlessly without us really needing to do anything to earn it. But then there comes a day where that isn't cute anymore. Just being who you are is not cute anymore. It's not worthy of getting all the love and all the admiration and all the attention that you once got. For many of us, we've learnt that now we need to earn that love. There are things that we need to do to get that love. And so a very powerful question was once asked of me. And that question was, whose love did you crave the most growing up? Your mother's or your father's? It didn't take me very long to realize that it was my father's love that I craved the most. And so the following question was, well, what was it that you had to do to earn his love? Who was it that you needed to be to get his love? And I knew exactly what that was. I played that role perfectly. I needed to be smart. I needed to be athletic. I needed to be good. I needed to be conservative. I needed to be, I needed to listen. I needed to help out. I needed to, have manners. I was very clear about who it was that I needed to be in order to get the love and approval that I wanted from my dad so badly. And I did that. I did that very well. I can say that to a point that I basically became the very poster child of what my father wanted as a daughter in every way. The following question was, what couldn't you be? Like that, I knew exactly what it was that I couldn't be. These questions are quite significant. If you're answering them for yourselves as I'm speaking to you, you'll come to realize that these powerful questions are giving you clues as to what was the greatest influence in you becoming who you are today. And what that is are the values that you learned to live by. To value education, to value health, to value helping others. Whatever it was, whoever's love you craved. It could have just been a grandparent or a caregiver. But these are the values that shaped your identity. And these values continue to shape your behavior and your beliefs. And many of us never take the time to ever stop and reassess where these values came from and whether they serve us, whether we still want to live by that. So anyway, my relationship with my father in my early years was not an easy one. It was quite a difficult one. One that I felt that I did everything that I needed to do to get his love, but still never felt quite loved. And so my experience very early on in life was about becoming, being, doing something in order to receive love. Very fortunately, I met my now former husband, but my husband, when I was 15 years old and fell madly in love, and very unconsciously again, knew exactly who it was that I needed to be in order to have his love. And I became that very person. And in many ways, I'm very blessed by these two people in my life, early in life and then early in my teenage years, that shaped me in some unconscious way to be who I was. The values that they imposed on me were not bad. They were great. I loved who I was. But I didn't recognize so much at the time that these weren't what was authentic to me, but rather what I had recognized outside of myself, what I needed to be to earn something that I wanted to have, something that already existed within me, love, and joy that was already in me. That there was nothing that I needed to do outside of myself for anyone else in order to get that. Anyway, when my marriage came to an end, I suppose I broke apart. I felt that I had done everything that I needed to do to get the love that I wanted so badly. In many ways, I felt completely helpless and clueless. I mean, what else could I have done? I felt like I had done everything. And here I was in this space of feeling completely abandoned and unloved. And for the first time in my life, I felt alone, like really alone. But reflecting back on that time now, I realize it was one of the greatest gifts that I was ever given. I didn't receive that gift straight away. Like many women, I tried to put a band-aid on it, get myself into a relationship so that I can feel loved. And again, I repeated the cycle of recognizing what it was that I needed to be in order to get the love that I yearned for so badly. And I played that role. I got so good at this stuff. I was like a chameleon. Sadly, again, for me, my heart was broken. And again, I was left in this space of going, I am doing everything. These people would tell me that I was perfect, that they didn't deserve my love, that, I deserved so much better. This was really difficult for me to hear, because at that time in my life, I thought that I was being and doing everything that I needed to in order to get what I wanted. And as you probably heard me say, love is not a transaction. Love is something you give freely. Love is not something that you give in order to get. But on some level, without even recognizing it, who I was actually a transaction. I was being someone to get something. And so the end of that relationship took me to a place where honestly, I was just cracked wide open. My grief and my despair, my heartache awoken me to something so great. And for the first time in my life, I was left in this space of not being influenced by anyone, any man that was for me, anyone whose love I was trying to get. There was no significant other person in my life where I was like unconsciously thinking, who do I need to be? What do I eat? What do I dress? How do I talk? Who do I need to be to get the love that I want so badly? So this was a really exciting time, because it was a time where I got to listen to myself and listen to what made me happy and what made me joyful and what made my heart sing. And some of these things were things that I'd never, ever, ever given myself an opportunity to explore, ever in my life. At age 40, I was in this place of learning things about myself that just made me so joyful, which I'd never knew, because I'd spent my life playing a role of the daughter, the perfect daughter, and then the perfect wife, and then the perfect girlfriend. And now I'm brought to this space where I've learned to listen to my emotions as my guidance system and listen to the things that make my heart sing. And sometimes my head gets in the way and I'll be like, seriously? Am I going through something? Is this a phase? I would actually question my own happiness and my own joy as a phase or midlife crisis or something that I must be going through, rather than accepting that this just so naturally and so easily brings me joy. And I was really fortunate enough to have someone speak these words to me. And what this person said to me at the time, when I was sharing with them exactly what I'm sharing with you, is that maybe this is just who you are. I mean, is being who you are supposed to be difficult, stressful, calculated? Isn't just being who you are supposed to be joyful and easy and effortless? If we truly tuned in to what it was that we're feeling and followed our bliss, then how would life unfold for us? I mean, people are so busy out there living their lives unconsciously, mostly, not even thinking about why they do what they do, living miserably, being in relationships that make them miserable, not listening, not having that authenticity or even the power to know what it is that they're feeling and whether it's guiding them to a life that they're born to live, a life of joy. Anyway, so I share this with you today because I just wanted to crack the door a little bit open for you. I wanted you to have a peek into yourself and think about, whose voice are you listening to? If it's yours, you will know. There will be this immense joy and awakening, insights and intuition and flow unlike anything you have ever experienced in your life. Or maybe you have and it's just been a long time. So today I encourage you to follow your bliss. If it feels good, don't overcomplicate it with your logic. Follow your bliss. Get in tune with your internal guidance system, your emotions. They're there for a reason. Surrender everything that you thought you ever were. Allow the doors to unopen and for life to unfold. It could be the greatest gift that you ever give yourself. As always, may your lives be conscious and filled with love.